Welcome to Jim's Code Corner. My name is Jim Belcher, and today is going to be the last day of this phase of this project. We're going to be finishing our MVP. We'll have a full CRUD application. It's New Year's Eve also, so we're going to be celebrating that. So that's cool. The last part of our task we have here, I'm going to go ahead and open here, and what we have is we did the API portion last time. Today we're going to do the UI portion of that. So essentially what we're going to be able to do is going to be able to click on the to-do item that we want to be able to update. The description is going to go up into the form. The button's going to change to update, and we're going to be able to push that button. It's actually going to update it. It's going to clear the form. You'll see it change in the table. So all those nice UI elements for this guy. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a lot to do with this episode. So I'll go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code here, and I'm going to find my code app and see components. We're going to go right to the component, to the spec, and we'll get started with this guy here. Let's take a look at our component, figure out what we're going to be doing here. So when we actually click the row, there's a couple ways we can do that. We can have it click on the actual row, and we're going to do the button. Normally, I would say we just do a button. You know, it's really easy, it's really intuitive that way, and we can maybe change to an icon like a little pencil or something. Seems a common thing nowadays, which is fine. But there's a gotcha here, and I want to show that to you guys. So let's go ahead and go with the gotcha. It's kind of weird going that route, but we'll get started, and you will see it soon enough. Okay, fair enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a function here to essentially select an item. Basically, when we call this function, it's going to set a variable for our selected to-do item. So first, I guess we got to write a test for that. So going down here to all our other tests, what we're going to do is I don't think I'm going to copy all that. Describe select to do item. Yeah, we'll call a nice little function here. Forget our semicolons. And it should mark a to do. It should, no, it's not mark it. Set selected to do item. And we'll even take that one step further, be even more intuitive, refactor this a little bit more. Selected to do item. That way it's the actual variable we're going to be using. That's fine. Okay. And that's going to call the function. Our nice little arrow functions. Oh, getting all confused here. There we go. Got a little tripped up there. It happens. Okay, so moving on. What we're going to do next is we're going to create a to-do item that we're going to select, and we're going to feed it into this function that we're going to create, and then we'll just pretty much set a variable. So not a big deal there. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we'll do is we will create first a to-do item. So let selected to do, don't even call it X, there's only one here, so it's just to do item equals a new to do item. And to do item description, that we'll call that description demo. I suppose it doesn't really matter, right? And to do item, let's assume that this thing has an ID, as it should if we're selecting off the table itself. So we'll go with my favorite number here, 42. And I would like to note, normally I would create a constructor here for this to-do item. And so I could just put demo and 42 in there, or vice versa, and be done with it just one line here. But for demo purposes, I like to put it on multiple lines like this, just so for readability reasons, so you guys know exactly what I'm putting in these variables and how it's working. So that's why I do it this way here. So, okay. So next what we're going to do is we're going to call a function. So component dot select to do item, which obviously does not exist. We'll put the to do item that we created into that, and that'll be all it does. And yeah, that works. Okay. So we'll say that's all we have to do for right now for this test. We're going to be doing a few things with this function. But let's just start simple and we'll just do this part. We're just going to select it. And then we need to put an assertion obviously in there. So let's expect component dot selected to do item dot description dot to be or to equal, and we'll say demo. We'll copy and paste all that guy, and we'll say ID, and we'll say our favorite number, 42. So we got our errors here. One thing I did forget to do, and I'm going to do it right now. I'm actually going to cut this in half, so horizontal. Maybe make it a little taller. CD to document. Oh, documents, development, my to do. In this case, the web, and we'll run ng test, just so we can get those running. And of course, we will see this fail just because we absolutely haven't wrote enough code to make it pass. I guess while it's doing its job, it is New Year's here. So why don't you guys leave in the comments some of your New Year's resolutions? What are some of the things you want to learn? Maybe I can help you with some of those resolutions. And yeah, please do that. Okay, we see here that this failed as expected. And to select two items, not a function. Okay, once again, expected. And okay, so let's go ahead and satisfy that test. So I'm just going to copy this name because I don't want any silly typos. We'll go in and we'll create another function. We'll call it select to do item, and we'll call it to do item colon. It'll be a to do item. It's our new function. So now that function will now exist, which is nice. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to set something. So this dot selected to do item will equal to do item. Of course, that's not going to work yet because to select the to item doesn't exist yet. So let's go ahead and create that up here. Selected to do item is a to do item. Okay, so now that's happy. Let's go ahead and save that. We'll go back to our command line, see if our tests pass. It seems to be very unhappy with me right now. Let's see, selected to do item doesn't exist. It says old. Selected to do item. Selected to item. Click this here. No weird typos there. Let's run it again. Okay. I guess we have to just follow it down, see what happens. So property selected to do item does not exist on to do item list component. Here's the component. To do item list. I'm not seeing why that doesn't exist. We're looking at it. Online. I do see it. Oh, no, I don't see it. Oh, I thought I forgot my this, but I have it right there. Select to do item. We're feeding a to do item into it. We're then setting selected to do item. Let me make sure nothing's silly on here. Selected to do item. Save. So it tells me it's not what I was looking at up here. Maybe something down here. So components in the spec 104, column 2, declaration of state expected. See this? Right there. We have something not quite correct here. We had too many things going on. There we go. We'll let that build. And we get 10 successes now. Sweet. Okay, so the next thing we needed that function to do was we actually needed to set the value of that description field. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just have this guy set. So this dot to do form dot controls. I believe we called it item, if I'm not mistaken. Dot set value. What we're going to put in there is the to do item dot description. And that should set it. Let's keep this in the background here so we can actually watch our test at the same time. Make sure we don't make it unhappy. Okay, and the last thing this thing to do is just needs to put focus on that field. So this description input. So what we called it, description input? I believe yes we did. And native element dot focus. Okay, so we'll wait for our test to run. And if we do, then I think what we'll do is we'll actually build this guy and we'll test it to see if it's actually selecting something. So first things first, the back end, Gradle, boot run, and npm run start. We got all that building. Okay, so while that's building, let's think about the next things we're going to have to do once this is done. Let's see, we'll have it selected. So we're actually going to have to do an update. And there's a couple ways we can do that. I have a couple ideas in my head. And we also got to create our service, our update service. And it looks like, yep, we're done. So let's go ahead and test that out so far. Let's go to localhost 4200. We need to create some task. Let's do this a couple times. Create some gibberish task. If I select one, didn't work. Oh, that's depressing. Okay, so let's look at our console. Nothing in our console. And it's very obvious why this ain't working. The reason being is we never went to our component here, or our HTML, and told it to do anything. So we're going to have to do that, and that's going to be really simple. So we have our for down here. Yes, okay. So we just need to add a click event. Click equals select item to do item. That should do it. Oh, or will give me an error. Select item is not a function. Did I call it select to do item? I did. Okay. Try again. There we go. And we'll see it has focus. And it's put the description up here. The only thing it did not do, it didn't change this guy up here. So we'll need to do something like that probably as well. It's not a big deal if we, honestly, it really isn't a big deal if we don't do that, just for sake of argument. We probably should though. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Okay. So where's our button at? Our button is right here. What we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna stick an ngIf right on this button. ngIf selected, did I call it selected to do item, I believe. If selected to do item, yeah, if selected to do item. I want to put that negative inverse that though. And then what we'll do is we'll make another button. And we'll call this, if it does have it selected, so I'll call that update task. Let's take a peek at that. Yay, there's update. Okay, so that works fine. And so the next thing we're going to have to do is we are going to have to actually make this thing submit and do something. So right now we have this onSubmit function for the form. I kind of don't want to use the onSubmit because what we have going on here is we have this type submit, we have two different ones, but we don't know if we're updating or we're creating. And what we could do is just put a simple decision statement in here saying, hey, if a selected item is there, then run the save. If it is not there, then do a update. Kind of doesn't smell to me. It's not like a single responsibility type thing then for a function. It's just doing two different things. So I kind of want to refactor a little bit. So let's change this to a button. We'll actually change this name as well to create to do. This is going to make things very unhappy. But this is why we write unit tests. And we need to put a click event on here. Click equals that guy. It doesn't need anything fed into it. So let's test. Okay, it's not happy. Create to do is not a function. It isn't because I didn't save that. And read property item of undefined. On line 38. Why did that make unhappy? Ah, because it does get something fed in. It gets the model fed in. That's right. So let's undo that. We are going to go with this decision statement for sake of time here. I don't want to get, stuck doing all kinds of things. That's going to just take up a lot of time. So we'll do this decision. It's not the choice I really want to go with at the moment. Maybe we could refactor another video or something. But we'll see. Okay, so I guess instead of doing that, we're just going to have the submit button, which is going to do the exact same thing. The only difference is we're going to check to see if something is set. So what we will do, go back to our test. Let's make sure everything's running still. Okay, everything's happy again. We're in our test. So selecting works. Let's find our onSubmit. ng on init. There we go. Not on init. OnSubmit. We'll create another it. And it should update a to-do item. And update array. Okay, so we're going to spy on the to-item service still. It's up to, we're going to call this now update to-do item. It's going to return an observable still. It can still return this exact same thing. That's fine. Except let's feed this, let's have it actually we'll feed in 1. That way we know we're getting something different back. Let's see. Actually, do we want to do it that way? Yeah, that's fine. But what we are going to have to do is we're going to have to create a selected to-do item. So let's go ahead and create a to-do item. I'm just going to copy this code. Find our second test here. And we'll call it selected to-do item. Okay, so we have an item that's selected. We have something we're feeding in. That's all fine, except we're going to change this to 42. And we will actually make that test. That's fine. And the next thing we need to do is we need to actually set, we need to set that variable, that selected to do item, equals selected to do item. Okay, so that's going to be set now, which as our flow is working, it will be set in a real life flow as well. But for some reason that broke here, so let's take a look at that test. Error update to items exist. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, so we're going to select it and to do items B1. I don't really want to do that. I guess we could do that. Doesn't really matter. But really what I care about is length is 1. And let's make sure that 1 is using the values that are returned from the service. To do items dot get. Whoa, that's not what I'm looking for. 0 dot ID is equal to 42. And we'll also do description is the description will be suppose test, because that's what's going to be fed in. And I think we're going to need to actually create a list here in order to test this guy out. So where's our on a net? Oh, it's actually returning something there. We don't want to do that. So we have our selected to item set. And to be honest, I don't even need values, but we'll just keep them there. We are calling our onSubmit with this data. It's going to come back with new data. The thing we're going to need though is we need something in our list. So component dot to do items dot push, and we're going to push an item into that. And really what's going to be is exact same as this. We'll just call this old. Give this be the exact same, yeah. And we'll say we'll push on old to do item. Okay, so now we have something in our list that has demo as a description. We should be able to run our service. It should return this new value, and that's the description that should be in there. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Okay, so right now, obviously, our test is failing. We have no to-do item. So let's go ahead and go to services and make this happy-ish. Services, copy this guy. Yeah, I don't want to copy that guy. I want to copy this guy. And we'll call it update to do items. So this is going to be a put. See, I'm doing something bad right now. I'm actually writing code without writing a test. But since it's just a copy and paste, I think it'll be okay. The other thing we need to do is we need to go to our stub And we're going to have to copy, paste, and update. Things are happening here, it's just we're not seeing it. Okay. Tests are still failing. That's okay, I suppose. Expected demo to equal test. Okay. So that makes sense, I suppose, because we're not actually doing anything, I don't think, here yet. We're calling, oh yeah, we didn't actually write the code to actually do the decision, so it's not actually really calling what we're expecting here. So let's go back to, let me find it, our component. We're going to write our code to make our component happy. All right, so if not selected, this dot selected to do item. So if there's nothing selected, go ahead and create something. Else, this dot update or dot to do service dot update, and we're still going to feed in our to do item to save. We still need to subscribe to it, and here's where things get a little different. So we're not just going to be able to push onto that that list anymore. We actually have to update what's already there. So what we're going to say is we'll subscribe, we'll say a result, our arrow function, this to do items, and we're going to have to find this guy. So we're going to do a filter. And in that filter, we're going to do, did I end with a parenthesis? I did. Okay. We're going to end with to do item, which is going to be the actual individual item that it's looping through here. And we're going to do something like this, that, and we'll do a check here. Is same item, or to do item, which will be a private function we'll write here in a second. And we'll feed in result and the to do item. Okay. Just gotta get my bearings here. Confuse myself. And all I really want to do is update the description. So it's only over going. It should only find it, the one, the description of it, and will equal the result no, it's not happy. Practice I'm using stuff I don't exist yet. Description. There we go. And we'll close it off. Can I find name result? We'll worry about that in a second. Right now, let's write a function to actually do that check. It's going to be really easy. So we'll do private is same to do item. And it's going to have, let's see, a search by. That's going to be a to do item. And we're going to be looking for a to do item. Okay, and it's going to be really easy to find. It's a good thing we're using IDs here, so we could do search by .id equals looking for .id. Okay, so now that's happy. Obviously this is very unhappy, but that's okay. Let's figure out why the result ain't working here. Feel like I'm missing a parenthesis. Probably not. result to do filter. There we go. Was missing one. Okay. So it's going to call that service. It's going to then do some filtering, set something for me, do some things, essentially. For whatever reason, this is still not passing, though. Because there's one more thing I don't want to forget to do this. I'm going to do it real quick. So after this thing runs its action, what we need it to do is to reset the forum, but we also need to clear out the selected item, because we no longer need that. So it equals null. Don't want to forget to do that. We should probably test for that as well in our submit. I think we will write a quick test for that. I should make that one pass real quick, but once again, don't want to forget. So, .net, not on a net. Why do you want to put some code there? That's so weird. Expect component dot selected to do item dot to be null. Okay, so let us run, and then we'll figure out this other unit test. Can't figure out why it's failing. So expected demo to equal test. So we're feeding in demo. We're pushing that on. We're mocking this guy out, so it should return 42. And it's not. Let's go back to our code. We're done with that for a bit. And here we are. So we're getting result back. I think we can confidently say that it's returning like test and 42. To do item, so if they both have the same ID, so the result and whatever one is looping through, then marked as pretty much as found. So if they're the same, then I get the description and write the description, which should be the result, which should be test. Okay, that code makes sense. Let's go back to our spec here. Make sure we're using all the right IDs. 42 across the board. Okay, looks like I'm going to have to pause the video, figure out what's going on, and then I'll get back to you and let you know what's going on. Alright guys, welcome back. Sorry about that. It looks like I made a few silly mistakes, which I will go over with you right now. We can see first of all that our tests are now passing. Let's go to our components, see what I did here. Did a couple things here. Actually, I did one thing here. So the thing I did here was what we were doing is we were actually always setting the ID to null, so it never would have found it. So basically I said if the item has a selected to item, use that one's ID. If it doesn't exist, go ahead and use null. So that was our first problem we had. The other problem was with the test. What we were doing here in this test was we were returning ID and item, which is not correct. It should be ID and description. And we were actually doing that for the create one as well. It's just we weren't testing for anything for values, so we never saw that. So I went ahead and changed that as well. And there was one other issue. I had the component on submit at the top of this function before anything else was set. So there would have been no items in the list. It never would have found anything to match against, never would have passed. So I moved the on submit to the bottom right before we make the service call. And that's it. So now we have all our tests passing there. So I think we have one more test to write, and it's a little backwards than what I usually do because we already wrote the code, but we had to write our code for our test for our service. This should be extremely simple. All we should have to do is grab our save, copy it, change this to update, should return a to-do item, still exact same there, should. Service, backend, that's all fine. We'll feed some things in, we'll get number back, that's fine. Here is the difference, is the fact that update to-do item Date to do item. Yep. I need to look at the code for my services here. A little confused here. Yeah, that's what I thought. We never actually fed anything in here for our save either. So, I mean, this should work. It'll just put a null in place, which it won't care about because it's not actually going to use the inputs for the response. But just for completeness, we probably should do that. So let's go let to do item equals new to do item. I'm not even going to set any values in that just because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to go ahead and feed that guy in to do item. And I'll probably have to do the same thing up here. Don't have to, but once again, we really should do that same thing up here. And we'll say to do item. Run it. And I don't see us causing any issues, but here we go. We now have 12 passing tests. I think the last thing I want to do before we actually do our live check to see if it's our manual testing here is we'll actually run a coverage report. You can see I was actually running on the browser during my debugging. ng-test dash is it code coverage or I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, we'll check that in a bit. We'll actually go to document. Oh, so now we'll documentation, Angular CLI, and we'll go to documentation, and we're going to find ng-test. There's an option in here, code coverage. That's what I was looking for. And it looks like we just do -cc. So let's try that. -cc. So while that's running, we'll get ready to open this guy up. Bring this down to my other screen. And we have our coverage folder here. Let's go ahead and open up index. We will see we look good except for, once again, our stubs. If I go to components, we'll see we got 100% coverage. Nothing is without testing. So we are good on our coverage. The only thing we have to do now is do a nice manual test to see if this is actually working. Okay, so we were doing updates, so let's go ahead and select this guy. We'll see we've changed to update task, which is great. Let's do 222 at the end of that, and we will get an error. Method not allowed. That's an API issue. Interesting. Okay. I am doing put, right? Put. Oh, yeah, I do know why. Okay. Something silly, as always. We need the slash. And we are going to need the ID to do item dot ID. Gotta tell which item to update here. Make sure our tests continue to pass before we try again. There's no reason why I shouldn't. Okay. Selecting that, 222 once again, update task. We see 222 up here. It changed back to update task. I can refresh and we'll see 222. So everything's wired up, everything's working properly. I mentioned earlier there's a gotcha with this. So watch what happens when I select delete. See that? It went ahead and it put this 222, which is the one we just deleted, into focus here, and it puts update task. So there's some confusion here on how things should work. So this is a really easy fix. I see a lot of people get caught up by this really simple thing. So what's going on here is there's event propagation. Some people like to refer to it as bubbling. We put an event on the row itself, and then we have the button inside of the row. So when we click the button, it calls the event for what we're supposed to do for that button, which was delete, and then it propagates up to the row, and then it runs the function that happens when we hit the row. So it selects an item for us. So what we need to do is tell it, hey, don't do that. We need to tell that event to stop at delete. So what we'll do is in our HTML here, we'll put event. We'll tell it that, hey, we're doing something with an event. And then what we're going to do is I got to go back to my component. And now delete no longer just takes this item. It's actually going to take an event in. So event. And we need to say event dot stop propagation. Okay, so now if I hit it, voila, expected result. It's a little gotcha. You know, obviously I knew that was coming. Has got me in the past though, for sure. So understand your DOM. It's, you know, it can bite you. But all right, that's all I got for you. That's our project. That's our CRUD project. That's what we're gonna end this part to. Next we're gonna start our next project ish thing. We might build on this depending how if I get any comments back on anything you guys want to suggest. But yeah, all right, thanks guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to like the videos. Don't forget to subscribe for sure. And please share these videos. I want to get as much coverage as I can so I can get as many suggestions as I can, because I basically, from your suggestions, I learn things too, and I want to be able to share what I learn. So, all right, cool. Thank you guys very much, and have a great new year.